The release of Sony's brand new peripheral PlayStation VR is coming closer and closer, and in this video we'll be counting down the top 10 games set to appear on PSVR in 2016. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Eagle Flight. Being developed by Ubisoft, Eagle Flight takes place 50 years after humanity's complete disappearance from Earth. You obviously play as an eagle flying around in Paris, and the one thing you notice instantly from the trailer of the game is the excellent music and art style. The game almost gives you vibes of Flower or Journey and looks to be a very artistic game. Eagle Flight will also have a multiplayer component for up to 6 players. It's something a bit different from what Ubisoft typically cooks up, so hopefully Eagle Flight can end up surprising some people when it releases. Number 9, Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin. Obviously this game is being created by Double Fine, and this is a game we hardly know anything about. What we do know is that Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin will cover what happens in between the first and the upcoming second game. Psychonauts was a game that many people were fond of, and hopefully it can make the transition to PlayStation VR that only makes the game better. Number 8, Robinson the Journey. This is a game I'm surprised more people aren't talking about. Robinson the Journey is a game set in the wilderness with dinosaurs and other wildlife. It also looks like a little orb-like creature will be following around and giving you instructions.
Are you ready to play a little game? Okay.
So Ark Survival Evolved with a little bit of Portal on PlayStation VR running on the CryEngine? Count me in. Number 7, Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Until Dawn was one of the surprise hits of 2015, and now with the game gaining a bit of name value, Sony is looking to capitalize on that by bringing Until Dawn Rush of Blood on the PlayStation VR. Now, if you're expecting something similar to Until Dawn, yes, the game has the same title, but it's nothing of the sorts to the original. The game is an on-rail shooter taking place on a roller coaster ride. Yeah, kinda surprising, but we'll hope for the best. Number 6, Rez Infinite. Rez Infinite is a 1080p port of the original Rez onto the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation VR. PSVR isn't mandatory to play the game, but Rez is a type of game that logically could benefit a bit from the use of PlayStation VR. Rez Infinite will also include a new level called Area X that wasn't present in the original game. Rez is a game that went pretty underlooked when it originally released, so it'll be nice to see it get another chance on the PlayStation VR. Number 5, Riggs Mechanized Combat League. Riggs could possibly be the PlayStation VR seller for many. Riggs is a multiplayer game where players take control of mechs and battle against one another. While the gameplay isn't similar at all to Rocket League, it definitely seems to be going for a similar look and feel to that game. Mech games are kind of sparse these days, so it's pretty cool to see one being developed exclusively for PlayStation VR. Number 4, Eve Valkyrie. Eve Valkyrie is a dogfighting space shooter set in the Eve Online universe. Obviously, it'll be using PlayStation VR, and it's a game that seems tailor-made for PSVR. Expect great visuals and fast and exhilarating gameplay out of Eve Valkyrie, which is scheduled to be a launch title for the PlayStation VR. Number 3, Golem. This is personally my most anticipated PlayStation VR game. Golem is set in an abandoned city where you take control of a giant stone golem and explore. The game's art direction looks very good, and the music is being composed by Marty O'Donnell, who worked on the soundtrack for Halo and Destiny. Golem is the first game being developed by a new studio named Highwire, so first impressions are always important, and hopefully Highwire can nail that. Number 2, Ace Combat 7. The popular flight sim is coming back onto the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation VR. The game isn't exclusive to VR, but Ace Combat seems like the type of game that can fully take advantage of it. Just thinking about seeing the clouds up close is pretty exciting. I just hope that this isn't a game that'll give me a headache using PSVR, as it is quite a fast-paced game. Regardless, Ace Combat is coming back, and for many, this will be the standout game for PSVR. Number 1, Gran Turismo Sport. One of the PlayStation's biggest franchises is finally coming to the PlayStation 4, and while once again GT Sport won't be a VR exclusive, it does seem like a game tailor-made to use PSVR. For racing game fans, Gran Turismo Sport will be the obvious game to pick up with PSVR. And considering the lineage of Gran Turismo, it's by far the biggest game coming to the platform. The inclusion of VR can possibly add an element to a series that could use it. Series creator Kazunori Yamauchi has stated that playing the game with PSVR is very good and very natural. Being natural is the one thing you have to hope for when playing any VR game, and hopefully with GT Sport that's the case. So that concludes our countdown of the top 10 upcoming PlayStation VR games. What do you guys think? Are any of these games gonna cause you to pick up a PSVR in 2016? Or do you need something else and think the lineup isn't strong enough to warrant a purchase this year? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.